I'd just like to introduce Garrett, and he is the welder. It's full steam ahead. Back in the last episode, I cut off the old outrigger to find an unsightly rust hole in the frame. It was cleaned up, the bad bits cut out, and my task is to make up a patch, and Garrett uses his magic to make the hole go away. Once that's done, he cleans up the surface for the new outrigger. I'm in position with the measuring contraption.
You have this set the same across. Yep. Right? So as long as our bolt here is happy, we should be good.
Yeah. Well, I know that's how it was, so,
okay.
And that worked. So I can hold it.
Yeah, let me just we'll tack the bottom first.
Yep.
Yeah, we should be good there.
You realise your welding's nearly as good as mine. You can appreciate some of mine there.
I know, I like it. Are you using arc welding?
I was using fulls, yeah. I mean, look at it, splattery and lumpy. It's very artistic, abstract even.
It could have been the rod is about as old as ball. That's the problem. You have a punch. Now that we've got that tack in place, let's try to punch some of this down. It'll be easier to fill it up.
Aligning to the original creates a gap that needs to be hammered flush to the frame.
Much better?
Yeah. Word has spread that things are in motion. Paul acquired this vehicle and, being more of a Jeep person, passed it on to us. With the first outrigger now in place, we can remove the measuring contraption. Next is a more aggressive clean-up to the mating surface for the second outrigger. This is the one to hold up the fuel tank and will be clamped loosely into place. This one will be a bit... Actually, we're going to probably put the fuel tank in there and check if it's
straight or not, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A much better idea, though some panel beating is required to the mounting plate. With the fuel tank locked in, we can now clamp its front outrigger into position, knowing it will be in just the right place. Getting the courage up for this job took a long time.
That was a big job.
Getting a welder out here.
Challenge.
That
was this clamp?
Meanwhile, Cricket's overcome with excitement, and it all proves too much.
Are you happy with that?
It looks pretty good.
Is it removable?
Yeah, once we get this tacked on there, we can take the tank out.
Not wedged, yeah.
Welding mask to observe what's happening. It's already broken. Now with the fuel tank removed, Garrett sets to welding in the second outrigger. Mission complete. Focus is now on the rear end. Garrett begins a slightly more vigorous clean-up of the antiquated steel frame. Now we fit our extensions into place. I don't know what that... Does that one do this?
Yeah.
And what would you weld inside as well, where the frame...
I don't think you'll need to.
Yeah. The rear crossmember has a black coating that needs to be removed from areas to be welded. Then we can slot the rear crossmember into place.
Unless it's too big of a gap. Right.
The skeleton frame was indispensable during prep, but now the best way to ensure the crucial lineup is to reinstall the tub. wasn't even a nut on that one.
What is it?
I was tightening up the bolt, but there wasn't even a nut on it.
Oh.
What are you tightening?
Nothing. It was just spinning.
I don't know, you try it. That's another one.
I'm more of a heavy lifter than a thinker.
That's another one of those lock nuts, so.
Yep. The tailgate hinges off the rear crossmember, so any misalignment will affect its ability to lock into the tub and close properly. This partial reassembly is a very important step.
16
What do you think?
in. If you wanted it to be perfect, I'd tap it just that way, 32nd. Here. Here.
You want to...
Did you just get by with
what
doing the
that
sides?
just, yeah, and see what that just did.
Did it work?
Yeah, this is a lot better now.
Oh, yeah.
This moved a lot, but I want to make sure that it didn't screw up the bumper. You know what I'm saying? Like this distance here
Yeah.
on both sides.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit different on yours.
Right, it's tall. It's up higher, right?
It's gone down now, I think.
Yeah, has it?
It looks to me like it's more narrower on Paul's side.
A little more. Okay.
It's wider down there.
I'm not
it's
real-
easy
I'm
to
not-
push up.
Yeah, let this back down, Gavin. I'm not
Yeah.
really happy with that. It's rolling it,
Yeah.
which is doesn't match up with the body lines very good.
How about pumping that jack up, bring the bumper up even higher?
Well, is it resting on that?
It is.
Yeah, I'd take that one down too for just a second. Because the bumper's up like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a problem I was having with lining it up, was getting this flush and getting them level. It was all a...
All right, let's
A
try to. Yeah, delicate, right? So
Yeah.
see if you can just push down on Paul's side a little bit, maybe.
down.
But the problem is that then we're going to run into a tailgate issue, I think. Which I'd rather the tailgate work than the. Right?
Yeah.
All right, try running that. I'm going to try that. So now, if you're happy with that, then I say we tack it like that.
I think so. Gee, we're going to have to make it a little one. We can't have a perfect job.
Yeah, that's perfect.
It can be somewhere else.
With the tailgate working better than it did before, there is some final cleanup before getting things tacked into position. Five securing tags for the tub need to be attached to the crossmember. While delicate operations are conducted in the workshop, Cricket's boredom is relieved by a visit from her short-of-shank cousin across the pond, known as Minnie the Monster.
Would it help to have a little more light?
Yeah, if we have some more light on my back.
Will it work here, Kevin? Does it stand?
I think it does, yeah, but I'll just start him off. Is that enough? Can't expect too much from this workshop. Light, light. Now the tabs are in place, we can unbolt the tub while Paul gets the lights working. Oh, light!
Is that good?
Well, yeah. I thought you were going to bring the cold beer with you, Paul.
Open access and some cutting to encourage some sections to sit flush against the chassis. There's some final bits of welding to make sure nothing is going to move before the clamps can come off. Meanwhile, outside there's still plenty of vigorous activity interjected by peaceful spells of eating grass. Then, after some battles over a dirty plastic bag. Back in the workshop, Garrett starts the process of welding together all the bits. Somewhere along the line, cold beer turns up, as if by magic, or at least our mysterious behind-the-scenes camera woman might have something to do with it. Nothing like a cold beverage watching a man work.
Cooper's Australian. This is Australian.
Is that barefoot?
This is mother's milk before we're weaned.
Yeah.
Outside, the pack size doubles, and Cricket better watch out. Young Wallace, also from across the pond, turns up with an item of great value, a stick.
Yeah, the welds here. Welds look not looking too shabby.
Oh God, we don't want the bubble come off.
Garrett finishes up some final touches, and then the next phase of the project is to set in place the rear spring hangers using my dodgy wooden measuring stick.
What the heck did that do?
What's that?
Piece of wood in there?
Yeah, this is the
Measure of his leaf spring.
this is a measuring device.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Probably not as accurate as it should be. What is that? This looks like it's got to go forward a bit.
Yeah, it's still in his board. Are you happy with the one up there, or that's what's solid? Yeah.
Well, it's like
That's permanent. That's factory, right?
There's quite a bit of jiggling and readjustments, trying to get both hangers equal distance.
see how much it's.
Rumour has it, that is important.
Yeah, see, my board's got room for inaccuracy there. Although it's not going through. It's close.
So we double check with the measuring tape.
42 and 3/8.
Yeah, I reckon it's just a touch back.
Yeah, I think we go back a quarter then, because maybe that's what's messing us up over there.
Yeah, told you.
Yeah.
Like wonky eye.
You hear that?
Did you get that on film?
Yeah.
Good.
5/8.
Once we're sure we have it, the clamps go on and the fire stick gets put to use.
I'm going to weld up the rest of the chassis here and then go home. Oh my God.
Pole's out of here. Garrett sets to welding the hangers while I measure out the bottom plates for the chassis replacement boots. The plates then have to be cut to shape and length and cleaned up.
Let's just put this one in there and make one for the other side too. And then should be good. And we'll have to clean up all these, these welds a little bit just so you can get some paint on this thing. Okay. Persuasion. Yep.
And then a final check, in case anything's been overlooked.
Geez, that might be it. Oh, that's really great.
What year is this again? 58, 59?
57, I think.
Oh, 57.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. So what's the history of the vehicle though? Where did it originate?
Oh, it's an English vehicle. It's a Land
So
Rover.
this is the one that you got from Thompson?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
He had it up there?
All the bits.
He had it up at that place?
Yeah, it was all together.
Oh, okay.
In fact, we even got it going.
Oh.
Like we could idle it. There was no acceleration. and there was no oil pressure, and so we shut it down, dragged it in here, and just decided to stuff it, strip it back to nothing, and,
Right.
and see what happens.
Yeah.
So here we are, the following day. Garrett was here for 3 hours last night and got it all done for me. The outriggers, the rear cross member, the little back boots on the chassis, the spring hangers, and the little brackets for the tub. Fantastic. Came out a lot better than I ever hoped. So, there's no excuses anymore. The plan from here on is, still working on the chassis, is to strip back all the old paint and then give it a few coats of Rust-Oleum. You can see I've already started here, and that's with a matte black finish. But considering that the cross member's glossy and the outriggers and the fuel tank are glossy, then I like it. So the final coats are going to be a glossy black, all uniform. It's going to look spectacular. Then of course the diff and the axle housing will need a clean up and a paint job. I was thinking of maybe a gunmetal grey, but I'm still open to persuasion on that. And then it's reassembly. We're going to put the springs on, we're going to put the hubs in with new bearings and seals, and from there we move to the front. Alright, starting with this job, we're going to use this quick stripper on the grinder. I do like grinders. But before we begin, we should have a little word about workshop safety. There'll be those out there having a bit of a giggle saying that I am not the man to listen to when it comes to workshop safety, and my response is au contraire, which is foreign gabble for something. What it is though, is that a man who's made the mistakes is possibly worth listening to, because then you yourself can learn at someone else's expense, which is always much better than your own. So it is for working with this old bits of paint and bits of crap and dust and rust and whatever else you want to call. I would highly recommend these goggly eye protection. I found that with the normal eye protection, that little particles can get in behind them and cause rather nasty eye irritations. So I've gone for the full goggly ones. Then of course, God only knows what toxins are in this old paint. But I found that the burning in my lungs on several times of stripping it back was possibly meant that it was not good. So I'm also highly advising one of these masks to help with your breathing, so that you're not breathing in toxic bits of shit. There we go. Hey, it also has the bonus of making me look a lot prettier. Gloves. Decent gloves are also highly recommended, with a couple of slips. I've had some very nasty and painful cuts. So there we go. Little holes in them as well. And protective clothing is very handy. And ear protection. But I can't find mine at the moment, so just pretend that I've got them on. And away we go, stripping paint. I've been scratching away at this chassis for quite some time, trying to scrape off the old paint and crap, and it's about as clean as I'm going to get it. It still does look a little rough, but I think it's time that we give it a coating of flat protective enamel, Rust-Oleum. So if you've tuned in for a professional video of how to paint a chassis, you're on the wrong channel. Alright, I'm going to give it a few coats for this. I've taped up a couple of the threads and bits and pieces that I don't want to paint, and then after a few coats, we're going to give it a gloss over, the glossy stuff on top. It's a terrible day for it, so I might just do the one coat just to protect it until it's not so windy. Alright, it's time to give it a little gloss. I can get the lid off. way a chassis rots from the inside out. So we have a trick or two up our sleeve to try and prevent any more of that business from going on. Now, if you're restoring a vehicle or just fixing one, there'll come a time when you likely need parts. And if the vehicle's old, rare, or both, it might not be as easy as a quick run down to your auto parts store. But with the invention of the interweb, sourcing parts has been made a little easier, though it still takes time and is a daunting prospect to some. In the next episode, we'll cover this topic with a far from comprehensive list, but enough to kickstart the rookie restorer in the right direction. So I'll see you in the mudroom.